Hello everyone, welcome to Pediatrics by Dr. Anand. Such a beautiful day today. Let's share some good amount of knowledge. My name is Dr. Anand and today's topic of choice we're going to talk about is neonatology, short case neonatal case presentation. It's a mandatory case for any student on this planet who's studying pediatrics, MBBS, MD, DNB, MRCPCH, USMLE, whatever clinical exams you're going to give. Short case neonate is a compulsory case must be given by every student. So automatically this video becomes very important. So make sure you chill out, relax, sit and watch this video like a Netflix movie. Anytime you're feeling sleepy, have a coffee, bang your head in the wall, everything will be fine. Before starting any segment, we always have a quote and the quote for today is knowledge. Knowledge plays a very important role. If you have beautiful knowledge, all the locks of your life will be opened. The financial lock, physical, mental, emotional lock, everything will be open and you can live a very beautiful chilled out life. Make sure you're not the arrogant one or the ego one. You are the one with full of blessings and full of good vibes. Starting with the neonatal case presentation, I'm telling you the realistic approach. How should you speak during the paper? That is like very important. Good morning, sir. I'm presenting the case of baby of Yashoda, who is I'm presenting a case of baby of Yashoda, 12 hours old baby, 12-hour old male child of what you can say Hindu community, born to a non-consanguineous marriage. Like that is the first line you speak. Good morning, sir. I'm presenting the case of baby of Yashoda, 12 hours old male baby, child of Hindu community, born of a non-consanguineous marriage. Now let's go one by one. A lot of questions are there. A lot of good. I'm happy I have some knowledge which I can share with you. Why it is important for us to understand that whether it is a consanguineous marriage or a non-consanguineous marriage. Naturally, consanguineous marriage, as in for example, if I talk about thalassemia. If we talk about thalassemias or sickle cell anemias, it is very common in Sindhis and Gujaratis. It is very common in Sindhis and Gujaratis. That's already an MCQ exam question. It is for AIMS. So consanguineous marriage is important because many communities having a consanguineous marriage, some diseases run in the families. Like thalassemia and sickle cell anemia, they run in Sindhis, Gujaratis, and some Punjabis communities. Okay. So, sir, I'm presenting the case of baby of Yashoda, 12 hours old male baby of Hindu community, born of a non-consanguineous marriage. He is born to a gravida 1, para 1, abortion 1, 0 mother. Okay, we know G for gravida, P for parity, A for abortion, L for living 1 also you can say, residing at Lajpat Nagar, New Delhi. Residing at Lajpat Nagar, New Delhi. That is how you should finish the first line. Okay, I'm telling you the realistic approach which the examiner, we being external examiners, we expect this a student should speak. Okay, what is gravida, what is para, what is abortion, what is living? All these are gynae questions. As a pediatric exam paper, they will not ask you what is gravida, what is para. In gynae, of course, they'll ask you. Okay, so born to a G1, P1, A0, L1 and residing at Lajpat Nagar, New Delhi. The child was born on 11th March. The child was born on 11th March, like that, or 2026, 2025, whatever you want to say. The child was born on 11th March at 1 p.m. Okay. Mother's LMP was, you can say 9 months before. A random mother's LMP was 11th November. Okay. And the EDD was after 9 months and 7 days, whatever you can say 11 July, the EDD was like this. Okay. So the child was born on 11th March 2025 at 1 p.m. Mother's LMP was 11th November 2000 whatever. And the expected date of delivery is 11th dash July, whatever sun is there. Okay. 2025, 29, 30. And 9 months, 7 days, of course, is something you have the basic idea of the last menstrual period and expected date of delivery. One question an examiner had asked me, if the baby is in front of you and by like apart from the LMP, if you want to know the expected date of delivery, what all other methods you can get to know. Number one, by LMP you can get to know if the mother has forgotten her last menstrual period, then how can you get the EDD? By ultrasound, naturally, first trimester, second trimester ultrasound, by ultrasound examination we can get an idea regarding the EDD. Second question, very importantly, by per abdomen examination also we can get the idea whether the mother is how much weaker pregnant during the pregnancy. By ultrasound and by the per abdomen examination you can get to know the expected date of delivery. I'm talking about the viva questions. Okay, question answer, question answer, question answer, so that you can get the best of the best marks. Okay, the child is brought to the, so after all this the child is brought to the chief complaints of dash. If your baby has a complaint, you say this line, he came with complaints of, for example, we give a neonatal jaundice is something very commonly we give a case, because neonatal sepsis and all that will be there in NICU, it won't be with you. So the baby came with complaints of yellowish discoloration of the body, like that, they can come, they can, you can have to tell in the exam. And normally we give a routine case also, newborn neonatal case also. In that case, there is no complaints. The baby does not have any chief complaints, like that you can tell. Or came with complaints of icterus, difficulty feeding, cough, cold, urine, stool problems. Here only let's cover 2-3 questions. A baby should pass stool within how many hours and urine within how many hours? Randomly, a baby should pass stool within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, urine and stool both 24 to 48 hours. Specifically, if you want to know, the baby should pass stool within 48 hours and urine within 24 to 30 hours. Okay, reference is Cloharty. Our Cloharty textbook, very big, it has written that baby should pass stool within 48 hours and urine within 24 to 30 hours. Whereas Nelson has written opposite. Nelson has written opposite, that a baby should pass stool within 24 hours and urine within 48 hours. So roughly at a random guesses in general, you can say 24 to 48 hours, sir, a baby should pass the stool and the urine. If I ask you another question, more than 30 hours over, baby has not passed urine, now what will you do? Like more than 48 hours over, the baby has not passed urine, what will you do? How does the urine is formed? Urine is formed by the kidneys, urinary ureter, bladder and penis. So that's how the urine comes. So naturally, sir, I would like to think of renal agenesis. Sir, I would like to think of renal agenesis, and for that I would like to get an ultrasound whole abdomen with kidney, ureter and bladder. USG whole abdomen with KUB, kidney, ureter and bladder. I would like to get it done. This is the realistic question which the examiner is asking every single day. Last week also I was an external examiner, and the other exam from Lady Harding and other medical colleges, they had asked this question. Okay, baby should pass urine within how many hours? 24 to 48 hours. Okay, 48-hour-old baby not pass urine till now. Now what next? So now I would like to think of kidney problems, renal agenesis and all that. For that I would like to get a ultrasound whole abdomen with KUB, like that. Okay, done. That you should know.